me on a lazy Susan, and they spun me around and they painted these squares, 4-inch squares, all over my body. And then they had me run, and they had me walk, and they had me do all this movement, and they fed that into the computer. And this was 1991. So that's how they did that. So now, anybody that does motion capture, they get to wear these fancy suits with the ping pong balls. A bunch of sissies. I come from a time when you painted that shit on you. We didn't have those ping pong ball suits. That's right.
Well, my other question was, if you remember, because you played with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I didn't play with him.
Oh, well, you didn't act, sorry.
Wow.
Nee, trasy eller hel.
What was that?
I have no idea.
Who is that?
Someone speaking from the grave, probably, but...
I don't know. So let's rephrase that question.
Well, now my question was, because you actually played a character that was stronger than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, very easy to do.
How did he take it?
He didn't take it too well. There was one day where he was supposed to it's the fight in the hallway scene at the shopping mall where we go hand to hand. And he said to Jim Cameron, you know, I really think I'd like to pick Robert up and put him over my head and slam him into the wall. And Jim said, well, you can't do that, Arnold. He's much more dense than you. You don't have the strength to be able to do that. He was very frustrated. It's funny. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Well, I imagine you had to be in a very excellent shape for all that running and everything. Did you train with Arnold in any way?
No, I didn't. But you know, funny enough, I read Arnold Schwarzenegger's book on bodybuilding. Have you ever read that?
No.
There was a book. I just realized I haven't come over here yet. I can see. So I don't have my glasses on, so you guys are. It's like looking at a Picasso. It's an interesting thing to do. It's very blurry out there. Anyway, what was I doing? I trained with an Israeli Special Forces guy by the name of Uzi Gal, and he trained me for the film, and we trained like 4 days a week. I didn't get paid for that either. I was training on my own. I was broke, and training with him, and we did a bunch of stuff in the ocean. We did weightlifting, a lot of judo, weapons training, a lot of sprinting, a lot of running, you know, he would only talk to me as a T-1000. When he referred to me, he would say, you know, T-1000, now we go run into the ocean. Run into the ocean. T-1000, then we put the sandbag on your back, and now you run into the ocean. Don't drown. It's a lousy imitation of his accent. You get my drift.
And I was wondering about the running, because that's
the running we did very specific. Everything had to be very specific, so you could do it the same way over and over and over. So I studied different sprinters. There's a Canadian sprinter, Ben Johnson, that I studied his run quite a bit, because you were trying to get no wasted motion. So everything you did was very specific, and it had to look the same every time we did it, so that when that, you know, the practical effect or the physical effects, the physical stunts that were involved, then when they got overlapped with the CGI, right? So it all had to be seamless. So that was really my job, just to make sure it was all specific what I did. The walk, the run, how I moved, how I carried myself. I gave myself a little bit of a head tilt so I constantly looked like I was going forward. That's just a little thing you put in there just to sort of make it all work. You know.
And because I was wondering, if they did speed up to running, like in
No, they didn't speed it up at all. As a matter of fact, I was running so fast that the first take, when I run out of the garage, It's the parking garage, yeah. And I hurdle these bushes and I go and the kid's in my sights. I literally tapped him on the shoulder when he was right off on the motorcycle. And everything stopped. And I said, it's over. Movie's over. I win. And Chip Cameron said, God damn, how fast you running? I don't know, man. So we don't want to slow Robert down, so we're going to speed up the rest of the stuff because everything was timed off the run. So it goes into a sequence where there's a semi-truck and I grab that guy, throw him out, jump on board, and it drives off afterwards. I think you know the sequence. We have a clipboard right here, right now.
Well, only if you replay it live.
You don't have it. I thought this was a big budget show.
Yes.
You told me this was huge.
We spent all the budget on you.
Nice job. You're doing great, by the way.
Yeah.
Don't you like this? I see much better than me just sitting around, isn't it?
Well, and I guess it's better than me standing up.
Right?
No. How?
I was on a 3-foot step ladder. 3 feet off the ground, and I was reaching for something like this, and I went to the left, and the step ladder went to the left, and caught my leg, snapped it, and I went to the right. Ouch. Yeah, it was fucking painful. I was screaming in the street for my wife. And I was putting up Christmas lights, for Christ's sake. So sad. Anyway, whatever. What else you got?
Well, I didn't finish the question.
What was the question?
The question was, if only T-1000 ran as fast as he could in
Yes.
certain parts of the movie, the movie would be over. Why didn't he run as fast as he could all the time?
I don't know. I didn't write the fucking script.
I thought maybe you got the answer.
I don't have the answer.
No?
No, I don't know. I didn't hear the answer. Oh, wow.
Well, because you...
So you got all this in front of you. You got all this. This is good.
This is all from the people, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, Prague is very beautiful. I have never been here, and when I'm not with you folks, I actually put my glasses on and I can see everything. What a beautiful city you have here, and it's really amazing. I'm staying in a hotel that is older than Christopher Columbus, who discovered America. I mean, it's like, we don't see this kind of stuff in America. America's only like 250 years old. It's, it's just amazing for me to be here and see your city. It's just beautiful. So, kudos to you folks. I'm really happy to be here. I'm a little depressed you don't have a Harley-Davidson dealership. We'll get over that.
Anyway, can we come in your dealership and say that we want to buy a machine from the machine?
I like that. That's a marketing campaign. You're pretty smart. Do you want to come to America and work for me at Harley-Davidson in Santa Clarita?
Okay.
Okay.
I will learn to ride a motorcycle for that.
There you go. There's nothing better. There's nothing better. I'm not there that much, but there's a lot of memorabilia in there. There's a lot of movie memorabilia in there. Also, our dealership is, we do the Love Ride, which is a foundation charity thing that we've done for 35 years. And we've had great rock and roll acts perform. We've raised over $25 million for different charities, so it's pretty cool. We've had Bruce Springsteen, Jackson Browne, Foo Fighters, ZZ Top, The Black Crowes, Sheryl Crow. That kind of rock. Business partner Oliver Shoku came up with that, and it's a great thing, yeah.
I've got one last question. So
And this is it, and we're done?
No, that's one last question about Terminator.
It's good.
Because you were not that big an actor, and you had a chance to be in this big blockbuster with the most famous actor at that time. And what would be your advice to people in similar life situation? How to not fuck this up, and how not to get fucked by it?
That's a tough question, really, because I was a struggling, very broke actor who hadn't had a lot of success. I'd been doing movies for Roger Corman for many years. Did I ever tell you the story about one of the reasons why I love Harley-Davidson so much? This is a true story. Billy Idol was supposed to be the T-1000. And he was riding a motorcycle, and it happened to be a Harley-Davidson. He was riding a motorcycle, and he got in a motorcycle accident. And unfortunately for him, it ended his chance to be the T-1000. True story.
So it was the motorcycle, basically, the machine made you the machine.
Gave me the opportunity, a broke, unknown actor, the opportunity to audition for that role that became vacant.
Oh, so now that's why you sell motorcycles to other actors.
It's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
But I do want to say this, it's a tragedy because, Billy would have been great, and he's a wonderfully talented singer, and he would have been a fantastic T-1000.
Do
And
anyone here
it's
think
just ironic that it worked out that now I actually own a dealership and sell them. But at the time when I got it, it was like winning the Super Bowl or winning what's the big thing here sports-wise? World Cup, soccer, or whatever. What is it?
hockey?
Hockey.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, of course. Czech Republic. Hockey, yeah, like winning the Stanley Cup in America. So, yeah, it was exhilarating, terrifying. It was a very, very big moment in the young Robert Patrick's life when he landed that role. And Arnold was a hero. As I mentioned before, it was being very truthful. I read a book that he had written on bodybuilding when I was in high school, and I couldn't believe it. It was like, dreams come true. Pretty amazing.
And how did you work with your mind, not to get,
Well, then it becomes a responsibility that you realize that you've been given this opportunity, and they expect a lot out of you, and you've got to perform, and that's something I've carried with me for the rest of my career. I've been doing it 40 years now, and I've worked with so many of my heroes, Clint Eastwood, Sylvester Stallone, Harrison Ford, the list goes, Robert De Niro, Harvey Keitel. I've worked with all these great actors, and you can't get enamored with them. You can't be starstruck. At a certain point, you've got to get past that and realize you've been given this opportunity, and they expect you to be able to perform at their level. So you drop all that and just focus on what's the job at hand.
Well, you are certainly.
I'm sorry that was such a boring answer.
No, it was. I wanted one serious question,
Okay.
because I think it's an amazing story because you were like a struggling actor, and then you were catapulted into worldwide fame because I guess after the movie, like there wasn't a place in the whole world where you would go and they wouldn't say,
Yeah, it was pretty trippy. It was pretty trippy. To be unknown and then all of a sudden be recognized. And I didn't deal with it very well. The first couple of years were very hard for me. And then I struggled with some addiction and alcoholism and things of that nature. I've been sober for about 28 years, but it's terrifying all of a sudden. It's terrifying all of a sudden to have that happen to you when you're just some guy that's, just struggling, just trying to make it, and then all of a sudden something like that happens. And you go to Japan and they know who you are, and I mean, I'm here in Prague, you know what I mean? It's a big deal.
If you had a chance to travel back in time, like the T-1000, and give yourself, as younger one, an advice, how to handle this better.
Well, the funny thing is I had a problem with alcohol and drugs before I did T2, and I quit to do the movie. I was smart enough to know I'm going to have to really sober up to do this film. And as soon as it was over, I binged the other way. And I wish I could talk to that young guy and say, stupid move, you know, don't do that.
Wow.
You can't go backwards.
Well, you did in the movie.
Well,
It didn't help.
did not.
Well, moving on, because you were certainly not afraid to step into some big shoes, like the shoes of Terminator.
The shoes of Billy Idol?
The shoes of Billy Idol, who was shot from the motorcycle, and then, you know, the X-Files, when David Duchovny decided, you know, to move over, and you stepped into this void that was left after him.
I never thought of it that way.
You didn't?
No.
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 Because I was
He was still there.
But no, not that much. In the first episode, it was just you.
But he was there. He was all we ever talked about. That's my favorite role I ever did, was John Doggett. Did you guys see that? John Doggett, the X-Files? You didn't see it? How come? I made that for you.
Well, because
It's my favorite role I ever did. Because I got to do what I wanted to do, which was, you know, play a leading man, you know, leading man role where I wasn't a villain. It's funny when you're in Hollywood, they cast you the way they cast you, and then that's the kind of where you're stuck the rest of your career. And then you hope for other things. Like I wanted to be, you know, I wanted to do things like I saw John Wayne do and stuff like that, you know, and then all of a sudden you're the villain. It's like, holy. I guess the rest of my career is I'm a villain. But I enjoyed doing the X-Files very much. My favorite role I've ever had.
Oh.
Yeah, I miss it. Good role, John Doggett.
Well,
This guy's busy doing his Twitter. He's completely lost interest.
what I love.
Sorry, I'm so boring, sir. I flew all the way here. I thought I had some good stories, but
Yeah, what I loved about Doggett, because one of the quotes from X-Files is "trust no one," but I think if there's a character that you can trust, you know, it's John Doggett.
yeah, they wrote him very well.
Yeah.
They wrote him very well. I love that. I loved working with Jillian and Annabeth, and David was a great guy. Great guy to work with.
And are the themes from the X-Files somehow close to you? Like, do you believe in aliens and
Yeah, I
conspiracies?
believe in all that. I believe in all that. I don't think I always did, but I mean, I believe. I mean, it's just a huge universe. I mean, I believe in God, and I believe that there could be other people out there in the world. I don't know. You know, I don't. It's so vast. It's so complex. So.
And you say you miss John Doggett because he, for some reason, he wasn't included in the.
Well, I was busy. Fortunately or unfortunately, I was busy. I'm always seem to be working when they have the reunion, or they do what do you call it? A redo of that series.
Reboot or
A reboot.
new
Yeah,
season?
I always seem to be working, so that's a good thing.
Because I was wondering if they did like exclude you or if there was a time.
I had another
because
job.
I was wondering, what do you think happened to John Doggett after?
John Doggett. John Doggett threw his leg over a Harley-Davidson. Became a member of a motorcycle club, and he lives up in the mountains somewhere off the grid, growing marijuana.
And did he start believing in aliens? That all that is real?
Yeah, the pot made him do that. Once he smoked weed for the first time in his life, he said, wow, there really are aliens out there. Look at that. Look at all that shit out there. That's what happened.
Okay, I've got one last question about kinda aliens.
Okay.
Okay, it's about outer limits.
Outer Limits, I did that.
Because there's
I did the Outer Limits twice. Brad Wright wrote it, and then he asked me to do the pilot episode of Stargate Atlantis.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but
Glad you liked it.
I don't know if you guys remember, this is the legendary episode of Outer Limits. It's just two guys in a prison cell, a guy and a girl.
That's not two guys.
Sorry, there are two people. Let's be
Two
political.
human beings.
Two human beings. One of
One
them.
happens to be female.
Yes.
The other happens to be me.
Yes. Thanks for the clarification. It's the episode where.
It's been a tough interview for you. It's the first time in her life she's ever had to look up.
And it's the first of the six.
Pretty good.
No, but it's the legendary episode where, eventually the girl, is getting turned into the alien for them to learn the secret to defense to the Earth. And at the very end of the episode, you learn that she was the alien the whole time. This legendary episode. I had no
Wait a minute. What?
You know this. Because in the second episode, I think you were the traitor. You were the hero in the first one and the villain in the second one, if I do remember correctly.
Well, I never knew that.
And you betrayed Will Wheaton.
I just saw Will Wheaton. I just saw Will Wheaton in Indianapolis. Is that really what happened?
That's what I remember from my childhood.
Wow.
Do you remember anything from this gig?
Not much.
Okay. Let's go to the audience questions. They would like to know, how did you train your face to look emotionless because you were better than Arnold in this?
Arnold, his character was going through something different. He was becoming more human, so he was working that part of the story, it was Jim Cameron really just kept telling me, you've got to be expressionless, and pick a look and lock it, and I took the look and locked into it, and really tried to hold it. I can see when I watch the film now, there's certain sections where you can see me grimacing, and there's certain times that it didn't hold up, but oh well. People that seem to be okay with it.
Well,
Thank you for that question.
They're asking that someone said that T800 is like a tank, while T1000 is like a shiny Ferrari. Do you still feel like a shiny Ferrari?
No. I feel like a shiny Harley-Davidson. So Charlie, I just get on a tangent. I stay with it the whole time. I apologize.
Tak, máme když tak otázky o mikrofonu, pokud byste měli zájem, ať se pak zase nenahrnete všichni.
When you were on Scorpio, was working with the actors as difficult as they were playing? Were they all geniuses in real life or not?
No, they were not geniuses in real life. Good question. They were very smart. They were some of the smartest actors I've ever worked with. Elias Gabel, he's from Great Britain, I believe. And Catherine McPhee, Eddie K. Thomas, Jaden Wong, R.I. Stidham, and Riley B. Smith. Great cast, wonderful cast. We had a lot of fun doing that show. The showrunner is Nick Santora. Excuse me. And he created another show called, which is out right now, called Reacher. I don't know if you guys see Reacher? You like that show? Did you see the second season? Oh, okay, cool. That guy's pretty big. Reacher guy, he's big. Anyway, yeah, they were written very smartly by Nick Santora.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for the question, and thanks for watching the show. We appreciate it.
T2 was amazing. You were one of the best things about T2 for me.
Thank
Your
God.
acting
Thank you.
was superb. Thank you. for
Thank
that.
you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. I love hearing that. I get worried when people haven't seen that movie. I'm like, what happens when people haven't seen T2?
I can see that. Yeah. But I want to ask about Peacemaker because you were
Peacemaker.
and it was one of the most crazy things that I ever saw.
You want to see my dance move?
Yeah, sure.
I know what you're thinking, ladies. Sexy. I know. No, if, for those of you that haven't seen it, there's a dance sequence that's the start of the show. And I was so bad at dancing that James Gunn just looked at me and goes, "What the fuck, man?" Seriously. We got to do a special whole thing for you just to show you. Can you at least do this? And I went, yeah. Can you put a pelvic thrust in there? I went, yeah. Oh well. So your question was the dance sequence?
No, it wasn't, but it was amazing. Thank you for that.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. Anybody got any Advil?
My question was, because this was a really, really crazy show, and I wanted to ask whether there's anything even crazier from the behind-the-scenes stories that you have.
Behind-the-scenes stories that were even crazier. Boy, I don't know, man. That's yeah, there's probably some stuff, but I don't think I can talk about it, to be honest with you. I will say this, that John Cena, who's the star and plays my son, he's a WWE wrestler. I don't know if you get that here in Prague or not, but big kid. I did his first movie called The Marine back in the day, and I played a villain. And then later on to be cast as his father was in Peacemaker is pretty cool. So John and I had a really, really good chemistry, but I found out that John has really grown as an actor. He's incredibly talented. He's very, very funny. He's got great ad-libs. He's really good at ad-libs, which is going off the script and just creating stuff on his own. And he's fantastic at it. He's a real joy to work with. Yeah, I mean, there's some other stuff going on, but I don't want to gossip.
Thank you.
That's a big round.
And there's a follow-up question if you're going to be in season 2?
Okay, so I have been told I am not allowed to answer that.
So that's a yes. Because why would they tell you other? Why would they be talking to you? You know, just common sense. But there's a question like, what do you like more, shooting movies or TV series?
Movies are great to do, and I do a lot of movies, and I do a lot of lower budget independent kind of movies that I get to do the juiciest roles. I find the most complex characters, and they're not mainstream movies. So that aspect of my career is very rewarding. I do like the factory type work involved with a television series. Network shows 24 episodes a year, so it's 10 months out of the year you're working. That's very satisfying, especially when you're raising children, because it's a nice steady paycheck and you get to stay at home. So less traveling around like a gypsy, you know, a little more stability. So from a practical point of view, you know, these are the things that actors have to look at as they're trying to decide what they want to do and what they want with their career. Now the streaming platforms have popped up, and I seem to be doing all of those right now. I had The Night Agent on Netflix, Reachers on Amazon Prime, 1923's on Paramount Plus, Peacemaker's on HBO Max. So those are like 8 episodes and take about 6 months out of the year. And it's kind of like doing a feature. And when you're doing an episodic thing, you get to live with a character a lot longer. So you can really kind of create a lot of nuance and you do a lot of different things. For a film, it's a shorter amount of time. But it's all fun. I mean, it's really, I should make sure you all know that when you leave here today. I love acting. I can't think of anything else in the world I could do. And I'm so grateful to have the support of people like you that come out and see what we do. And I really, really appreciate it because I really love acting so much and I can't do it without y'all. So thank you. But I do need to act for myself. I have to admit, I don't look at it from a fan's perspective. I look at it from my own point of view, and I think every actor, every artist really feels that way. They make their art for themselves, and they hope that people will enjoy it, and that's kind of, how that works.
You have a microphone question?
Yeah. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice shorts.
Thanks. I wanted to ask you, during shooting the Terminator movie, what was your relationship with Arnold Schwarzenegger after the set, after shooting?
There was not a lot of interaction. I was very committed to what I was doing, and I did not socialize with anybody, and I sort of stayed in the T-1000 frame of mind the whole time. I was scared to death to not, because if I lost it, I didn't know if I'd ever find it. So I kept it, and there wasn't a lot of levity for me. I didn't fuck around on the set. There wasn't jokes. I did my job and I went to my trailer and sort of stayed focused like that. But the years since, when we see each other, we had great laughs. A lot of fun. I'm always excited when I run into Arnold, wherever I run into him at. So yeah, he's a great guy.
Okay, thanks.
I've got a follow-up for this actually. On Arnold in that movie, did that maybe happen like you really hit him? And it was
there was one time I really, I had a steel rod and I'm slamming it down on his back, and he had a prosthetic piece back here, and and I'm like hovering over him, laying it down, and I'm sending it into his back, and I had a specific spot, and I never forget, because I hit him and I'm standing over there and I'm kind of, and he goes like, he looks over and goes, oops, where's my real arm? And it was then that I started to really get worried, because there's another fight scene coming. And I stood over him like that thinking, oh my God. When the payback's gonna be a bitch. What's he gonna do to me?
And what happened?
He didn't hurt me.
Oh.
He didn't hurt me. He wasn't a mean guy.
Hello, Robert.
Hello. How are you?
Tired, but convention, so
Did you not sleep last night?
not very well.
I didn't sleep very well either.
I guess for different reasons, maybe.
My reasons are age.
Yeah, you do.
It's kind of half-hearted.
So my question is, you said you played villains a lot. I have a question about one movie you made where you played father of a son who lost a friend, and it's Bridge to Terabithia.
It makes me cry.
Yeah, and it was very, I think, messed up lots of people.
It messed up a lot of
Spoil
people.
it for those who haven't seen it.
I can't believe they haven't seen that movie.
Yeah, it was as a
So wonderful.
romantic as fantasy movie, but it's not a fantasy movie.
Yeah. Well, it's based on a book, a children's
It's based on
novel.
the book, and you cry the book as well.
Yeah.
My question is, how did you prepare for the role? Because it was a hardworking father who has to deal with a son who is an artist and who lost a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I read some great reviews about your performance in it.
Oh, thank you.
Because it was very unusual since you are usually done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you remember the movie and how did you approach the role?
Well, I appreciate you asking. It's one of my favorite movies I did. It was produced by a friend of mine, Alexandra Schwartz, in Walden Media. And it was a great book. And I just approached it from, a lot of different things. My father, I'm a father, my children, how I relate to my children. And you just try to find the truth in that relationship between the father and the son. And the love that's there. And I think that the last scene where I help him, Josh Hutchinson, deal with his loss is the one that I'm the most proud of. When I went to the movie premiere, and they premiered that film, it was interesting when that scene played, because I could hear a lot of sniffling, and it was all the men. It was the fathers.
I remember.
Yeah, and the dads really reacted to it, so we did a good job with that. I was very proud of that. And that's a lot as that could be attributed to Josh Hutchins. He's a wonderful, wonderful actor.
Yeah, thank you for letting me. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm crying only thinking about it.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, but I'm happy.
Thank you.
Because we did our job. Thank you. She wasn't sure if I could walk around on the stage. She wasn't sure. She wasn't sold on that. She wanted me to sit down.
Now, I did believe that you could walk. I just knew that I couldn't for an hour.
Yeah.
I'm not
No, I
that well
love it.
trained,
I'd rather walk than sit down. I sit down, I fall asleep. I'll be drooling. Somebody will come up with a wipe my bed. I'm not that old. Yes, young lady.
Hello.
Hello.
I just would like to say that our most favorite movie with you is The Faculty.
The faculty,
Faculty, yeah.
Coach Willis.
And I would like to ask you about some funny stories from shooting.
Yeah. Do they involve Selma Hayek?
No.
Oh.
Maybe yes, yes.
Yeah. Are you gonna ask?
Just tell me
Oh,
something.
just tell you some funny stories in general. Well, Elijah Wood's in that movie,
Yeah, exactly.
and I ad-libbed a bit of dialogue that I wanted to put in the movie that I thought was quite funny, and I'll try it on you guys. I was the football coach. In America, we have this thing called football, American football. You guys familiar with American football?
Yes.
Do you like American football?
Yes. Go Chiefs.
What?
Go Chiefs.
I'm a Rams fan.
Bad for you.
Patrick Mahomes. Taylor Swift.
Mahomes.
Anyway.
She's doing American football now?
She's dating a guy that plays for the Kansas City. I think his name is Jason Kelsey. Is it?
Travis.
What is his name?
Travis Kelsey.
That's it. Travis Kelsey. Shows you I'm not a Chiefs fan. Rams fan. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh. So I was the football coach. And here's the line I tried. Let's try it out on you guys. I said, I got chunks of guys like you in my stool. Does that translate here? Does that make sense? Gets a bigger laugh back in America. Oh, well. That was my thing. Selma Hayek was great to work with. She was in it briefly. I got to put an alien in her ear.
Amazing.
Yeah, I kept messing that take up too. What was that?
If you did like it, if you enjoyed it,
Yes, very much.
that's why you were messing the takes?
That's exactly. I deliberately messed the take up because I was having so much fun with Selma Hayek. Wonderful actress. Anything else?
No, thank you.
I'm glad you liked that movie. Usher's in that movie.
One more time.
Usher.
Usher.
Usher, the singer.
Singer,
The R&B.
yes. Usher.
Yeah, he's in it. Josh Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett, exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in that movie. It's
It's
great.
amazing movie.
Yeah, had a lot of fun.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure indeed. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Last 8 minutes. I was wondering, how did your cameo in Wayne's World came to be, and generally the...
Lorne Michaels, the creator of Saturday Night... Hey. I'm not done. I'm up here. Pardon me? No, I'm sorry, I didn't single you out. I was talking to this guy. I'm talking to this guy right here. Not you, sweetheart. I knew what you were doing. This guy was ignoring me right here. Didn't fly all the way here to have you hurt my feelings. I'm tougher than that. Just kidding. What were we talking about?
Cameo in Wayne's World.
Oh, yeah. Lorne Michaels, the creator of Saturday Night Live. I don't know if you guys get that here. Anyways, in the United States, they have this thing called Saturday Night Live. And Mike Myers created Wayne's World. And Lorne Michaels thought it would be funny to have the cop that pulls over Mike Myers in Wayne's World if it would be someone they would take from the zeitgeist. The Terminator 2 movie was still in the theaters when they were filming Wayne's World. So they asked me to do it, Penelope Spheris asked me to do it, and I came by for one day, one afternoon, and I shot that little scene, and Penelope and I went and saw the movie, my wife and Penelope, we went and saw the movie in Mann's Chinese Theater, and I sat next to Penelope, and we were both just thrilled because it got the biggest laugh in the whole damn movie. So I was super excited about it. And they paid me a lot of money too. Which is another great thing about this business.
Hello.
Hi there.
I have a question about cameos too, actually.
Okay.
I have a question about your cameo in Last Action Hero, if you can remember that. Because it's not really
Sure.
a scene, it's like 0.5 seconds.
I know.
How did that happen?
Well, I'll tell you. So, are you ready for this, Duncan?
Definitely, never heard this story before.
Okay, so Wayne's World plays in theaters. And I'm doing additional dialogue recording for another movie I'd done. And a phone call comes into the recording room from guess who? Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he said, and I'll try to do his accent, he said,
No, try. Right.
I will do it. Robert. I saw the cameo you did in the movie The Wayne's World. You must do that in my new film that I'm doing, The Last Action Hero. I said, okay. How much you gonna pay me? And he said, I will pay you scale, which means not much. And I said, sure, buddy, I'll do it. But that was cool because I'm actually in the same sequence with Sharon Stone.
Yeah, I saw.
That's what I said.
Thanks so much.
It was my pleasure. Thank you very much. Thanks for seeing me. Let's get a hand for her.
So many like soldiers, law enforcement, these hero types, not just villains. And I was wondering where you draw inspiration. Was there any kind of figure in your life or maybe in movies? Who was your inspiration for all of these men of the law?
I don't know why that is, but I have been very lucky. I've played every branch of the armed forces. You know, I come from a family of soldiers. I mean, I'm the first one that did not enlist in the military because I was during the Vietnam War, which wasn't a very popular war in our country. And but my ancestors all the way back to the Revolutionary War fought for the country. And then, as a matter of fact, in the Civil War, we had people fighting on both sides, North and South, in the American Civil War. Yeah. So maybe it comes from that. My grandfather was a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army, World War I, World War II, Korea, got a Bronze Star. I guess I have a little bit of that in me.
Wow, Bronze Star, that's like a...
Bronze Star is significant, it's a medal of significance for action that was happening.
Mm-hmm. So you've got it in your genes. So
I think so. I'm Scots-Irish, Scots-Irish-American, so and the Scots are known for their fighting and, you know.
Mm-hmm. Fighting each other, or?
Well, if you look at the history of Scotland and, you know, yeah, and Ireland, and a lot of fighting against the king, that kind of thing, and then that spread to the United States, Appalachia. Who's there?
You know, I'm just looking if they're prepared, because one very last thing, I've got a small gift for you.
Here's a guy right here.
I warned him, I warned everyone, get up to the microphone as fast as you can, because they always come in the last 10 minutes, and they would keep coming. Everyone, if we stayed long enough, everyone would have a question. But we have a small gift for you.
Okay.
Because I noticed that you've lost some pieces. Some pieces in the T-1000 movie, and I found one of the missing pieces.
Oh, what is it? Open it up for me.
It says T-1000 missing pieces.
Come close on that. Take it. Let's show.
Yeah. And I thought you might want to join that back into you. I hope that'll be.
You know, it was only a movie, right?
There's some missing pieces.
Look at that.
Of T-1000.
Look
This
at
is the
that.
piece that was left in Czech Republic.
This was the piece that was left in Czech.
Yeah. We found it for you.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that I came to the Czech Republic.
I think the Terminator was...
That is so sweet. Did you make that for me?
Of course I did. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
It's such a pleasure. It was a joy. It was a joy working with you here.
It was the greatest joy for me because you are a true legend. I think for everyone here.
That's what they say when they love you.